Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So Iran is being bombed everywhere, and it looks like its nuke site is going to be bombed probably tonight or soon. And we'll see that anytime Iran tries to strike a ship with a drone or a missile, it's going to be hit by either their bridges are going to be blown or their power plants are going to be blown. So there's going to be, it's an escalation from the United States. Of course, Iran is trying to bomb more targets. They're getting just hammered across the country. They've talked about how they want to go into Kuwait with their military. That's crazy because they would have to go through Iraq to get to Kuwait, and trying to do that over desert, it would be just like when we bombed the Iraqis military when they tried to escape from Kuwait, just absolutely decimated them. So there's like, please try that. So all of their military that would venture out to do that would be just completely eliminated, right? So air superiority is on U.S.'s side for the most part. Of course, the hidden drones and missiles and underground facilities that they creep out very quickly and shoot off and then scurry back into underground facilities. That's the only way the IRGC at this moment is being able to survive, through their underground bunkers and sites like that. So the nuclear site that they have is going to be bombed, right? And probably B2s, B1s are going to start bombing it soon. So we're going to talk about that. Trump says the 2020 election steal was a long ago, right? So no, it wasn't that long ago, but it has to be resolved and for us to go forward. So we're going to see that election steal. A lot of information, I believe, is going to come out. Probably arrests are going to start to happen. Now, if we move to the midterms and there's not a pause, or there's not, a resolution where it's going to be a fair elections, which I think that's absolutely impossible at this point. If there's not a pause and it goes forward and we get a blue wave, there will be turmoil in America, right? So we will rise up and we will crush that, right? So hopefully we get that resolved and we can do that over a period of time where, good voting, implementation comes in. Of course, that's going to be fought heavily by the deep state and probably on the level of I don't know, some 9/11 times 10. We've heard that's going to come. It hasn't happened. We heard that there was going to be another, bioweapon attack. That hasn't happened, right? We've been calling all this stuff out. The Operation Blue Beam. We've been calling that out. It hasn't happened. So getting on top of that, through social media sites and so forth, We Are the News now makes a huge difference because they have to be able to capture the public's consciousness through their MK Ultra, Mockingbird media platforms. And if they can start to get that out there, kind of like what they're doing with that stupid, lettuce that's rotten and people are eating it and getting sick, supposedly it's spreading across the United States. And, we got the ticks that are being dumped everywhere. Now, that's the real thing, because I just heard from a doctor that he has a sister that is very high up in the naval establishment as a doctor or something. And he said that she's at the Naval Academy, I think. And so she said that a lot of them, and she knows of 100 people that have been affected by that little tiny tick. You can barely see, that is infecting people, so they can't eat meat anymore. she knows 100 people. So the East Coast is being riddled, I guess, with this tick. This is a real thing. So there is, these, and he even said that you can't even eat eggs. I was like, what? Chicken, red meat, and even eggs? You can't even eat eggs? So wow, that would be devastating for me, and probably for a lot of other people. So this is a real thing. Screw worms as well. That's right, Jeff, coming across the border. So these bioweapon attacks are happening, and they are affecting people. So you have to be very, very, heads up these days. Be careful on the East Coast, Northeast, going out into the woods right now, because if you're not, covering yourself up completely, long pants, and that's going to be hard to do. The temps are in the hundreds in some of those places, and socks on the outside. Wow, it's like they're keeping us from going into nature. That's crazy. So this is what these crazy people do. Yeah, it's a full-on blitz on a lot of different levels, but we're doing the best that we can to call this out and bring attention to it. So it's crazy. Now Trump is going to go after the deep state Iranian Nazis, their ways to produce nukes. So let's watch and see what he says.
They may have, we don't have it on record. All we do is read the fake news. We see the news is so wrong so many times. So, maybe this one they have right, but it's okay. It doesn't mean anything unless they have the material. You're talking about the centrifuges. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything unless they have the material. They don't have, we follow the material. That's where the action is. And we'll be hitting that area probably pretty soon. And there's not a thing they can do about it. Normally I wouldn't say that. If I thought they could do something about it, I would never say that. But we'll be hitting that area pretty soon, and very heavily.
All right. So, like he's saying there, normally I wouldn't say that, but we're going to hit that area, and there's really nothing they can do about it. Right? So it's going to get hit, and they're going to blow up their centrifuges that they need to create the bomb. So they have nuke material at levels that they can adjust it up to nuclear bomb material. So we're gonna blow all that up, and it's in this like granite mountain, 100 feet down, but we got some bombs that can penetrate, and so we'll see, what's going to happen. B2s, B1s, I've heard they're ready to go. So the tick bite causing meat allergies is from Lone Star ticks. It causes the mammal meat allergy called alpha-gal. Thank you, Lynn. So that's one of the things. Yeah, it's called it's from that area, but they're dumping it. There's people are finding bags that have been dropped from the air, and it's full of these ticks, and they're infected, just like they were releasing mosquitoes that were sterile, and so they were mating with other mosquitoes, so they're supposedly canceling mosquitoes out. So the bioweapon stuff is really something they're very good at. And when I was in the CIA for 11 years and in SEAL teams for 24, we all knew that the next stage was bioweaponry attacks, and that's what we've been experiencing since COVID. So it's going to continue. It's going to increase. Will it be called out? Will it be stopped? They're still going to squeeze some stuff in on us, I think, but they're getting stopped out for a good amount. Yeah, 10 miles under the mountain, rods of God. Yeah, let's bring them out. Rods of God, let's go. So there's lots of, I don't know if they're 10 miles down. I haven't heard that, but I've heard, I saw that it was like hundreds of feet under the mountain. So 10 miles would be like crazy. That would be almost impossible to get. unless you nuke it. So here you see all of the different, this is President Trump says U.S. will strike Iran's Pickaxe Mountain very soon. So that means probably tonight or tomorrow or something within the next day or two. USI strikes on Iran's Pickaxe Mountains, believed to be an enrichment site. And Trump says U.S. will bomb Pickaxe Mountain. And Trump threatens Iran's Pickaxe Mountain. U.S. rains hell at Iran's secret nuclear site. Nuclear explosion, Pickaxe under attack. So I've seen some explosions, but it's, you don't know whether it's actually, because there's all kinds of explosions going on everywhere across Iran right now. And so U.S. B-2 bombers are preparing to punish Iran's Pickaxe Mountain. So it looks like it's on. And then, of course, the B-1 supersonic bomber for Iran's Pickaxe Mountain. So it looks like B-1s and B-2s are going to be deployed to bomb that mountain, Pickaxe Mountain, where their centrifuges are located. So, so is it going to happen tonight? I don't know, but there's some people that are celebrating that it is going to happen tonight. So let's watch. Sounds like, pretty much everybody's ready to get down tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Pickaxe Mountain is going to go bye-bye. All right. Trump says U.S. Lebanon flights can resume, pledges help for that country after meeting its president. Now, I've been to Lebanon, and like I've talked about several times on the show, it is absolutely exquisite area in the Christian side. In the Muslim side, it is a shithole, right? So you have a shithole, and then you have like ultra luxury, exquisite beauty side by side. And what has caused that? Well, Hezbollah. So Hezbollah, funded by Iran, has come in and has infiltrated, kind of like what's been happening all around the world. And, we have to clean it up. So President Trump is going to help Lebanon clean out Hezbollah. And I think that's fantastic because I was like, they just need to like stand up and push these people out. They're quite a menace. And, you couldn't even walk by their neighborhoods as a white boy like me. And I was, on missions, but at night and carrying weapons and body armor. And they're like, they didn't know, of course, but they're like, here's white boy walking by their neighborhood. And they're like, of course, I, have a beard. I don't look completely white boy and kind of dress like the natives. But they would yell and scream at me. And I was like, damn, hope I don't have to get it on with you guys, but I will win. So that needs to happen. And President Trump is going to, I think, start that. Is going to help out the Lebanese and get their extreme Hezbollah problem out of there. Now, this is his meeting with the president. This is fantastic. So this hasn't happened, I think, in like 17 years, something. It's been a long time. So this is moving in the right direction.
Be with the president of Lebanon. He's highly respected in his country and actually long beyond his country. We've spoken previously on numerous occasions through representatives, and the relationship is very good. I think that Lebanon has been a very mistreated country for a long period of time. It's an amazing group of people. As you know, there's a Hezbollah problem, but we've done some things that I think the world will take notice. Again, it's been a very badly treated place and country, and we're going to have it properly treated and treated with respect that it deserves. And Mr. President, it's an honor having you. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Thank you
I've
very
been
much.
looking forward to this visit for a long time.
Thank you very much.
Meeting such a great president like yourself.
That's a very nice thing. See, he knows how to get to me.
And you know, the people there are amazing people. The Christian side, so they're handsome. The men are handsome, like you see here, studly, handsome guy, and the women are quite attractive, right? The French influence that has come through is still very much in prominence. The Crusaders, you know, their forts are still there. It's incredible. Very, very magical place. 800,000-year-old cathedrals with bells that ring on Sunday and people coming out. You know, I was there during Christmas one year. Absolutely exquisite decorations. Magical, very magical place. But it is like I said, unfortunately, it has been infiltrated by Hezbollah, and they're trying to take it over. And they've done, unfortunately, a fairly good job of taking paradise and turning it into quite a shithole, right? So President Trump is going to get involved in that. I think Lebanon used to be it was the Paris of the Middle East, guys. French food and so forth, exquisite mountains, and you know, the cedars. At one time, I guess you could see the cedars from Lebanon. They could see the pyramids, and from Egypt they could see the cedars up in it was amazing. So that's not the case anymore, right? So there's been a lot of devastation in the world. I think we're going to clean it up on many levels. Now, even you know, Tracy and her family. There's one of her sisters was married to a Lebanese guy at one point. I guess he was Muslim, unfortunately. But her nieces are, you know, very beautiful. They grew up in California, so Dad wanted them to come to Lebanon, so they went to visit in Lebanon. This is I'm telling the story from as I've heard it. They get there, and Dad wanted to burker them up, and they're like, "Nope, we're out." California girls, are you kidding me? So they came back, and of course, you know, they've had some great lives here in America, in California. So beautiful Lebanese women in California. So they've done really well for themselves. So this is something that's going to spread around the world. You know, beauty and elegance, like you're seeing there in the White House, once again, is coming back for the world, and America is going to lead it. All right, guys, very, very exciting times. Of course, we're going to have to go through some difficult times as well. All right, so breaking: U.S. military launches more strikes. IRGC defies Trump over Strait of Hormuz. So again, you know, they're saying, you know, the Iranians are saying, yeah, the strait is closed, and you know, we're saying, no, it's not. And in fact, there is a sliver of ships that have been coming through. Now, the way they get these ships through, I guess they have you know, put out there to because over 900 ships have come through since May or something like that. Now, when we announced that the straits were reopened, we, the U.S. government, the military, the Navy. So what they've done is because there's the threat of occasionally some of these drones and missiles hitting some of these ships, they put out a high price. It's like me when I used to go overseas. I was paid unbelievably well because I was willing to go into combat zones working for the CIA. They paid exceptionally well back then. And so now they're offering some of these crews and captains to take these ships through the Straits of Hormuz, a very, very attractive, I guess, salary if they want to, take those ships and get them through the Straits of Hormuz. So that is happening. They can't, they're trying to say that they have control, but they don't have control anymore. The Navy and the U.S. military has control. All right. So U.S. forces began launching more strikes against Iranian military targets at the commander-in-chief's direction. The mission will continue to further degrade Iran's ability to threaten civilian mariners and commercial vessels transiting the regional waters. And this is from U.S. Central Command, which is in charge of that area, right? Claim. So this is on X. Claim. Today, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, Navy claimed that it controls exit and entry to the Strait of Hormuz, suggesting that international mariners can only use routes the IRG prefers. This is false. Fact. Iran does not control the Strait of Hormuz. The international waterway remains open for transit regardless of IRGC threats and attacks. Commercial vessels continue to use the strait with U.S. military support. Since early May, American forces have helped more than 900 ships transit the strait, right? So fact, right? Kuwait's military said its air defenses were responding to hostile drone attacks. Of course, Kuwait was, raided by Saddam Hussein's military. We came in and basically spanked them hard, and they went running back to Iraq, and we decimated. It was a long line it was called the road of death, right? So hundreds and hundreds of vehicles from Iraqi forces trying to escape were decimated, right? That's what would happen, like I said earlier, if Iran tried to do the same thing, come down into Kuwait. We would not allow that. That would be devastating. And we just would hope they would be that stupid to do that, because it would just make it easy for us to, decimate their military forces. The Kuwaiti army said any explosion sounds heard were caused by air defense systems intercepting the attacks, and urged residents to follow safety instructions issued by authorities. So they're getting much more capable of taking down the drones and missiles. So that's what's happening now over in Yemen. The Houthis attack Saudi tankers in Red Sea as Iran continues targeting ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what President Trump says.
Why is nobody talking about what this retired grid engineer just said? Your smart meter is stacking fake charges on your bill every month.
Folks, I may be putting my life at risk by sharing this, but staying silent isn't an option.
What is your level of concern of a blockade of the Red Sea by the Houthi rebels, opening up another front?
Well, we'll have to see what happens. So far, it hasn't happened, might happen. But we take care of things. If something like that happens, we take care of it. We've done that with the Houthis before, and we haven't heard from them in a while since we did what we did originally. It was about 45 days.
Now, I remember I used to go to Aden. It was just me and one other CIA security guy, and the chief of base, and a couple of case officers, and we were very, very low key, right? Because the U.S. military, including special forces, that SEALs and Green Beret, there was a couple guys, and I get to meet them and talk to them. It's pretty good guys. They were telling me about the raid on Bin Laden, so I got some really good insights on that. But a couple of SEAL Team 6 guys were low key there as well, maintaining a base that they had, a secret base. And other than that, it was just us. And then eventually we got more and more people in, and then we had Ground Branch that came in, a bunch of SEAL buddies of mine, and Ground Branch started training the local Yemenis. And there was another base. And then after, you know, everybody else started getting froggy, there was another group of SEALs that came in, and we helped them get to another base. So I was on the front of all this stuff. You know, we would, you know, come in when everybody ran away, and we would establish things again. I did this in many bases, CIA bases in several countries. So we reestablished ourselves, but then it came a point where I felt that things aren't going to go so well. You know, I have these intuitive abilities, and I kind of warned everybody, you need to be really, really heads up. And then I remember when I flew out, I went from Aden up to the capital, and I flew out of the capital. The guy that took me to the airport was telling me that he had a rider, because he was also a cab driver. Not only did he transport us, the, you know, special guys from the U.S. State Department to the airport, make sure we got out in time. But he also would transport some other people, I guess, as a taxi driver. He told me that the Houthis were planning to take over the capital and take over the country. And this was years ago, of course. And I relayed that information. So my intuitions were correct. Of course, the Houthis are, you know, were pushed out by the Saudis. And the Saudis were like tired of them and kicked them out. And now they're trying to play games with the Saudis and trying to stop the Saudis from transporting oil. I don't know how this is going to end, but for them, I don't think it's going to end well. But if the U.S. military is going to get involved, like President Trump is talking about, it's going to be very bad for them, right?
It's a very powerful action we took against the Houthis. And we've had no problem with the Houthis. They've had no problem with us for a long period of time, including during this conflict. I think that if there is something like that, we'll just have to take care of business.
You're just going to have to take care of business. So you want to F around and find out? It's up to you guys, all right? But that's the way this is working. Iran has, you know, we tried to deal with them. I think that was stupid. I don't know really what that was about. I think it might have been because we're just trying to get more forces in the area. I don't know. But we're devastating them. At some point, the locals are going to be armed if they haven't already started to be armed. I think they have been by special forces and so forth, and they're going to strike back. So weakening their power and control across Iran right now. Several possibilities I think are going to happen, where we may see the Peshmerga, the Kurds come in from the north, from where they are in Iraq, and so the Iranians are already been hitting them because they must know that that's probably what the plan is. So we're going to probably see something like that, and there's other areas I think are going to be hit. Possibly boots on the ground from the U.S. military. I've said this is going to happen. I've been saying it for a long time, but you know, we'll see. I'm not gonna say where, when, or what. But it's the only way that this gets resolved at some point is if we, you know, start to put some boots on the ground. And in a way, I think that's already happened. Special forces, I think, are already there. So that's boots on the ground. I've been seeing it, and I think it's already been happening. All right. So. Now, I said yesterday that it was time. I thought, you know, things can change, of course, that it was time for silver to break out. It already had broken out of a wedge that it was in. So today it went up fairly well. It could be the breakout. We're seeing that the Dixie, the dollar, is heading lower. Is it going to start to go below 101 and 100? You know, I think so, but that remains to be seen. Now, I think everyone is watching the Fed, which meets next week. The Fed is not going to move, and that's going to boost everything. I think everything's going to take off after everybody sees that because everybody was like all nervous that the Fed was going to raise rates. They're not going to raise rates, right? Our economy here in the U.S. Is transitioning out of the old, control system, and that control system has to collapse so that the new can be built. We're going to see that process start to pick up probably towards the end of the year, I think, after the stock market goes up, and it'll be the last to money chases, what's rising. So we'll see silver and gold go up. We'll see probably crypto make another little bounce before it finally, heads lower. Then it will be a buying opportunity. There will be a buying opportunity in residential and commercial real estate. There will be a buying opportunity in stocks that are going to get hammered. So those will be something that will be long term. They'll probably hit a bottom. No one's going to want to touch them. That's when you want to step in. And if you've been listening to me and getting into silver, then you're going to benefit because silver is going to go up pretty significantly, and then gold's going to go up and so forth. The silver miners and gold miners are going to go up. So there's lots of opportunities out there. You pray they drop the rates, Stephanie, and they're not going to drop the rates, not yet. That's not going to happen, and probably until the stock market starts to crash. So, and that won't be, I don't think, until the latter part of this year or early part of the next year. But I could be wrong. So I'm not an investment professional. I'm just an intuitive guy that gets things right quite often. So it's up to you guys. Make your own decisions, use your own intuition. I know a lot of you guys have gotten into silver, and you're going to probably do really well. All right, so that's that. Silver, gold, everything's up. Little slight pullback right now. Will it be more of a pullback? I don't know, but I think it's broken out. It'll be up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, let's go into the bullshit that's going on out there with these former high-profile truthers, media professionals, Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson. There's some other channels out there. They got a lot of views from us over the years, which going forward should not get any views, but it is what it is. You have to make your own decisions as well on that. I've called out a lot of people over the years, and it takes time for them to be revealed. And during that time frame, you hate on me because I say the people you love are baddies, and you're like still believe in them until you don't. And then when you find out, you never say, you were right, Mike. You're just like, oh, they're bad. And then you go on with your life and start. Hopefully you will continue to watch the one that gives you the real truth. And that's moi. All right. House passes NDAA with Israeli takeover provision. Bill now goes to Senate. Now, this is Alex Jones. Alex Jones is full of it, right? You need to stop watching him because he's spreading lies and disinformation. So here he is, coup alert. Netanyahu brags. He wrote Section 224 that hands control of the Pentagon to Israel. It does not say that at all. He's basically conflagrating something into something that is not in existence. So here it is right here. I am heartened. This is Netanyahu. I am heartened by your enthusiastic support of our plan to develop a new memorandum of understanding with the United States government that will draw, keywords here, that will draw down U.S. financial military assistance. That sounds pretty good to me. That doesn't sound like we're handing Israel our military. Okay, that sounds like we're reaching an agreement where we won't have to pay them our money, our tax money, and so forth. We're going to reach an agreement where we're going to share technology, which will benefit both of our militaries, and that will be the payment. this because the Israelis have some really high tech stuff, guys, and they're reaching some. Of course, they have to have high tech because that's the way they survive in the Middle East. They know that, so they're pushing the envelope on high tech. And we've seen them bomb the hell out of everybody that gives them shit, like Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran. They have been a great proxy for us to take down the deep state actors in that area. It goes on to say U.S. assistance over the next decade and replace it. So replacing the monetary support that we give them, we'll replace it with what you refer to as a new framework of joint defense cooperation, co-development, co-production, and mutual investment in areas including advanced missile defense, which everybody will benefit from, our allies, us included, artificial intelligence, unmanned systems, drones, so forth, even jets and drones. I mean, we call them drones, but some of these are going to evolve into jets. And I've said this decades ago, where I said that we're going to see this type of technology take over and we won't need pilots anymore. So we're moving into that cybersecurity and next generation military platforms. Did you hear in there where the U.S. military is going to give over the U.S. military to Israel? No. So what the hell is Alex Jones talking about? He's talking bullshit, right? He's trying to spin everybody up like he's been doing. So here's some more spin doctoring from Thomas Massey, who fortunately is not going to be a congressman in the future from Kentucky.
First of all, the NDAA stands for the National Defense Authorization Act, and it's one of the few bills that passes every year. I've been here 14 years. There have been 14 NDAAs. So you can set your clock.
Yes, that's right, Thomas Massey, because we make sure that we do this every year. You're not disclosing anything. Those of us in the military know that it has to be every year that they do these bills, and the writing has to be very good. Now he's going to blow it up too. I mean, I guess he goes on to Alex Jones, and they say, oh, how can we tear down, the Trump administration destroying the deep state? Because obviously they're part of it. Obviously they're part of the deep state, guys.
On the fact that this bill will pass. So anything that gets in it is, dangerous as a cocked gun. It's going to become law. Well, this bill is 100.
See how this clown town just conflates it into something that is not even there? It's like a cocked gun. Like what? It's a writing for make sure that our military is taken care of in a good way. You, Congressman, have not been taking care of all of the bills. You've been letting a lot of that money go out and be illegally taken. And so now we have like a debt that's like $20 trillion. The amount of payment for the debt is more than we pay for military spending. Like it's $1.4 trillion, and servicing a $20 trillion debt is more than what we spend on the national defense, guys. And this clown was part of that.
It's a pages long. And, in one of those hundreds of pages, it's actually 5 pages long, is section 219. And it was section 224, but it's now section 219. And it calls for the integration of our military technology and the supply chains that produce our, high-tech military equipment to be integrated with Israel's. Now, we don't have this kind of, bilateral agreement with any other country in the world. And I would argue that we shouldn't, in order to protect our sovereignty and to protect our national secrets. If you wanted to share one thing at a time, let's say, we wanted to collaborate on missile defense systems, I think that's fine. The president can do.
Oh, so yeah, it's fine if we just do one thing, but multiple things, that's not good. conflating. He's a conflation bullshit artist. So happy that this clown town is going bye-bye. All right. And maybe we should get him for some treason charges somewhere in there. I don't know. We should look a little bit more carefully at this boy. All right. So this is bullshit. He and Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, several others are just trying to tear down President Trump like there's some kind of connection with the Israeli military, which is going to be very bad for us. Yes, we have to be very careful that doesn't happen. But this is making sure that, we're not throwing away our money like these guys did for years and years and years. And we're doing it in a way that we're going to benefit not only Israel, but their technology is going to benefit us as well, right? On a massive level. So they're out on the front lines, fighting Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran right now. So we want them to be strong, right? Because they're doing the dirty work for us on many occasions, guys. And some of this stuff that they're putting out there, where all these people are being killed, a lot of that stuff is bullshit, right? A lot of the stuff is bullshit. Yeah, there's some of that happens in every friggin' war. I've seen it. I've seen the military put out when I was in Iraq as a contractor doing security protective work and so forth, where they put out to all of us that if you see people in white shalwar kameez, shoot them on sight. And I'm like, what? This is the kind of bullshit that comes down from some of these people, guys. And this guy right here is one of those bullshit artists. Of course, we blew that off. All right. So we have to start to look past the morons like this. The morons Alex Jones used to be a great guy, but I guess, somebody's funding him and puppeting him and telling him to say bullshit. So be careful what you pay attention to, because I saw right here, Thomas Massey gives final warning about NDAA provision that merges U.S. military with Israel. That's bullshit. Nowhere in their writing does it say that. So here, typical white person says, I don't have the time to watch this right now. So people just look at headlines and they formulate their thinking and they get bullshitted. So a lot of people are going to look at that headline that he and Alex Jones are pushing out there, and who knows who else is going to push this bullshit. And they're going to go, oh, the U.S. military is going to be taken over by the Israel. Stupid. Not ever going to happen. So he goes on to say, and I support Israel's right to exist. Good. And I consider them an ally. Good. But assuming this headline is accurate without doing investigative work and looking, he's going to assume now. So at least he's assuming, he's not completely looks at the headlines and it comes from Thomas Massey. Oh, I like Thomas Massey. It must be true. No, right? There is no way we should be merging militaries with anyone. That's right. And we're not going to merge military. We're merging information that will benefit the U.S. taxpayer, because we're not going to pay them all this money to turn around and buy our military equipment. We're going to develop military equipment with them so that we defeat the enemies, theirs and ours. We're allies with them. We're going to help defeat the enemies of everyone in the Middle East. And then everyone's going to get with the Abrahamic Accords, and there's going to be peace and prosperity for all. But first, you got to get rid of the people that are going to prevent that. They're going to blow up all the economic development that's going to happen throughout that area. So don't listen to these idiots, guys. I've said this, but there's still people that still believe Thomas Massey is a good guy. He is not. Absolutely a puppet boy. All right. And almost everybody in Kentucky is. What happened to Kentucky? Come on, Kentuckians. Right. Pull your asses out of your, or pull your heads out of your asses, out of your, what. So National Defense Authorization Act sets the annual budget and spending policies for the U.S. Department of Defense. It changes every year, of course, because we are in conflicts and wars and so forth. So it has to be reassessed every year. Every year. Sometimes it, like when I was into SEAL teams and I was in operations and in charge of a lot of funding and so forth, they'd like for us to cut corners. And I was like, okay, we'll cut corners here, we'll cut corners there. I would be one of the guys, because when I was downrange, they were cutting corners on us. And I was like, that's bullshit. So I make sure the bullshit cutting corners wouldn't happen. But when I was budgeting, at the end of the year, we had tons of money. Instead of like just, saying, oh, we got this, we didn't spend that much. And they would say, oh, thanks a lot. So I guess you don't need that much next year. I'd be like, F that. So I would like go out and I'd buy all these, Gucci robots that we'd use for shooting and all kind of crazy stuff, and weapon systems. And I wouldn't just let them, I would do really good with the funding, and then we would take that money and just like, all right, let's get the good stuff. The military is so corrupt, guys. It is crazy. So you have to have good people like myself that used to be in the military, but most of the time you're not. There are going to be guys that are completely clueless, and shit's going to get, spent, and sent to areas where it doesn't need to be, and all kind of crazy stuff. All right, so funding happens. NDAAs, the National Defense Authorization Act, can also include secret law in the form of classified addenda, and some specific, and that would be like special forces, submarines that we would have, and aircraft we'd have, and a lot of stuff I can't tell you, but I can tell you that if it was special forces, it was good. All right. Some of these other programs, not so much. Right. But, who's watching all that? I would like, and I can't go over even when I was in the CIA, I was like, there's some bad people over there doing some bad stuff, but I can't say anything because I'm in my own little box. They're in their box, and we can't, and they use, top secret and all that stuff, non-disclosure agreements. And so that they can get away with stealing our money and, using it in evil ways and so forth. So there are good people out there that are making this stuff happen. Thomas Massey is not one of them. All right. And don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Actually let it, let me help it slam you out, and I'll give you a nice kick on the way as well. So we need good people in Congress and the Senate. I don't think we're going to get them. All right. We've got a few that are probably going to move forward, but for the most part, this system has been undermined on a massive level. Even people that we think may be good are probably not so much. All right. So we need to stop this election, this midterm, guys. It needs to happen. And I pray that President Trump does that. If he doesn't, and those blue idiots get control, vote a bunch of people in, select a bunch of people in through their illegal voting processes. We're not going to put up with that, because that will be the end of America. That will be the end of America, right? So we're not going to let that happen. That beast system is going to go bye-bye. That's right. 7 Rick Rack Rock. So that's the future. And people like Thomas Massey, eventually we will see them. More of you will see him for what he is. And we all know already that a lot of these people are very bad, very evil, and they can't go forward. They can't have any position of power going forward. It's complete bullshit, right? And they have to be taken down. They have to be removed. Good people put in positions. And then it has to happen across the country, from, people that are in the educational system, all the way up to, city council members and, mayors and governors, and on and on and on and on. So they have to be replaced if they're evil, and we know who they are. And if they don't get replaced, then we're going to replace them, right? It's going to happen one way or the other. And that way it's not going to be pretty. All right, guys, stay in the love vibration and let's get down tonight. Get down tonight, baby. Get down, get down, get down, get down, get down tonight. Ooh, 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 ooh.